gave each other compliments, man. You know, man, he said, Koko, man, I go out there and do a move. He said, man, that was fantastic, man. That was great. And I would do the same thing with Owen. You just how we could do things, and that's what I really miss.
Now I have a question. If you could say one thing to Owen, what would it be?
Man, I love you.
Now, one question I have. You wish he was here. Now, one other question I have is, if you were to write a book about Owen Hart, what would the title be?
I would put it, and it's an old song. He did it his way. Like Elvis came out, or Frank Sinatra came out my way. It would be like Owen Hart. He did it his way.
Nice. Thank you very much, Koko B. Ware. I appreciate it. It really is heartwarming to hear it coming from you, just because you did have such a close camaraderie with Owen, because, I mean, just working in tag teams and being in the limelight together like that, it's really nice to hear your thoughts.
Well, I'm just being real, man. And you know what? Tears come on my eyes. Hold on, let me catch my composure.
No problems.
You know, it hurts. It hurts because, you know, he didn't really, he achieved a lot of things in his life. And one of the main achievements in his life was seeing his kids grow. And that's when it hurts.
Now, Smith, do you have any last things you want to say to Koko?
Koko is a great soul, and I know he did love Owen, and we love Koko. I remember my mother remarking about Koko used to pronounce his name Orn, O-R-N, but Koko's now pronouncing it a little more exactly, maybe for the show, for the occasion. But that was a touching. Some of those questions and answers are very touching, and so it's almost an unfair question to ask what you name a book. If somebody asked me that, I wouldn't have hardly been able to come up with a name. But Owen was, you know, the last of the Harts, and I think he might have had more children. Like what's so sad? Like wrestling is wrestling, and that's business. But the love of a family and his love of his family, and vice versa. Those kids missed out on growing up with a superhuman being, you know, a special person. Owen would have been as model a parent as you could have had. And he wasn't all about prim and proper. He was about honesty and natural, being natural. You know, he was a very natural person. He didn't like a lot of synthetic things. He had simple values. Status and things weren't that important to him. He was just as happy driving a van or an old muscle car as a brand new limo or something. You know, he wasn't a status seeker. He just wanted to be a good father and a good husband, a good son, a good brother.
Well, I'd like to thank you for coming on, Koko.
Thank you for having me.
All right.
It's good to talk to you, Smith. Just give my regards to the rest of the family up in Canada, and whenever you talk to them, sure, just let them know, brother, we still love you all, and always will. And God bless you all, and just stay.
Bless your wicked soul too.
Thank you, Koko.
All right, thank you very much. I have got the Godfather on the line. Now, you had the chance to work with Owen Hart on a few occasions. What are your memories of working? I know you worked with him before he was in WWE, in the USWA, and as well as in WWF. What are your memories of working with him?
Probably like everybody else, Owen was one of the best workers out there, a lot better worker than I was. He led me through many a matches, man. And yeah, I was in Germany, and I've been in Japan with him, and well-liked, well-missed, and just a great guy, man. His whole family actually was really good. All of them, including Bret, were always nice to me.
What is one thing that you feel that Owen would want his fans to remember him for?
I couldn't tell you that. I didn't, I can just tell you what I remember about him. He was just a great guy. What what he wants his fans to remember, I have no idea.
Now, Owen was a huge ribber back in the day. Do you recall any Owen Hart ribs? Or did he ever pull any of them?
Owen ribbed a lot. No, Owen never ribbed me. He never did that. Most of his ribs were funny. Nothing malicious. He was always pretty funny. Like I say, he's just a great guy and well missed.
Does any one rib stick out to you?
No, it doesn't. Not really. Oh, I'm sure you got guys that tell all type of stories. I'm not the kind of guy that kisses and tells, so I don't really like to tell many stories about people. But Owen, he was a ripper. He was funny. He was always in a good mood. He was always willing to help people. He set up matches for me before, and he's just a great guy, man. I spent over in Germany. He had been there before. He showed me the ropes, took me around, showed me how to order, showed me how to get taxis places, and, couldn't have been a better guy.
Is there one thing that you would want Owen to know, like a last thought that you would like to say to Owen or anything that you didn't get to say to him?
I wish you could have had that last match, man. I know it would have been a good one. I just really miss that guy. A lot of people ask me about Owen, and just a great guy, man.
Yeah, I had a question, Godfather. When you had matches with Owen, what was your favorite match that you had with Owen? Any recollections?
Oh, man, that's so long ago. You're talking so long ago. Not really.
Okay.
I had a lot of matches with Owen, and he was different characters. He was Blue Blazer. He was Owen Hart. He was this one. I was Papa Shango. I was this one, that one. Just good matches, man. Just good times.
Very nice. Hey, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Okay, guys.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
We do have other callers on the line, so I'm going to go ahead and cue in the next one. The next one is 561. You're on the air. You got a memory you want to share?
I've seen Owen Hart perform the Blue Blazer, and they did that angle with Dan Severin and whatnot, and that was pretty interesting, and that was pretty funny. But as far as I wanted to know about Austin, and he accidentally broke Owen's neck. I know it's not a good thing, but did they ever reconcile their differences before he died?
Smith, do you want to answer that?
I couldn't actually hear the question that well. What was it again?
Yeah, he asked if Austin and Owen reconciled their differences after or before Owen passed.
I believe they did. I wouldn't bet my life on it, but
Because Bret had said they didn't. That's why I'm just asking.
Yeah, they did. I'm sure they did. Steve Austin was a good professional and a friend of the family and a great person as well as a great performer. And
I didn't know if they really did or not. But
no, they sometimes take liberties with each other at the expense of the office, you might say, and it's between them and there's some injury issues that maybe suited the occasion to take a hiatus and blame the opponent for it and stuff. But I think Steve Austin's a great guy, and no one loved him, and they probably had a lot of mutual respect for each other.
So call from 718. You're on.
Hey, how you doing? I'm Frankie from New York.
Doing good. You got an Owen Hart memory you'd like to share?
Just watching him on TV, and two of the memories I have the most is when he won the Slammy Awards and when he became the King of Hearts. I don't have any personal memory because I never had a chance to actually meet Owen. I always wanted to because I am a big Hart family fan. I've been watching WWE since I was 5 years old, and I've been a big fan of the Harts, from Bret Hart to Owen Hart to the Bulldogs to the Hart Dynasty as we speak today. And I gotta say, the first time I ever shed a tear for a wrestler was for Owen Hart, and I was actually watching the pay-per-view of the day of the tragedy, and it really brings a lot of sadness to my soul. I always wished I could have had a chance to actually shake Owen's hand and actually meet him like I did with the rest of the Hart family members.
I'd like to thank you for sharing your memories. Smith, anything you want to say?
Thank you too, sir.
I would just like to I'd just like to tell Smith Hart that I'm a big Hart family fan, and I love you guys. I'll be watching the pay-per-view today when the Hart Dynasty would defend their tag titles. And I would like to give a shout out to Natalia Neidhart, which but this Thursday would be her birthday. So I would just like to say happy birthday to Natalia.
I have to confess, I didn't even know it was her birthday, but I was about to, wish them good luck over the air in this tag match. It's very important, and I do wish them luck. And the caller is very astute about his knowledge of the Harts.
I had a question, now, Smith Hart. The big match where it was Owen Hart versus Bret Hart. What was the feeling for the rest of the family during that match?
Owen and Bret?
Yes.
Well, we just knew that it would be as good a match as you could almost imagine. You couldn't just between them alone. They had no help from the office or the writers or from any other source. They could have, on their own torn the house down, for weeks after week. It could have been a succession of great matches. We just, we were all, fortunate to be pawns on the table, or not even pawns, less than pawns, but any time that Bret was in a WrestleMania or one of the big pay-per-views, or Owen or both of them, and the family was involved in any way, it meant, the fun of being backstage and meeting celebrities and being on TV and your kids' friends at school, the buzz of the classroom would be about seeing Uncle Smith on TV or Uncle Bret or Uncle Owen. We were always, we almost couldn't get enough of that stuff because we were pretty much out of wrestling in Calgary. My dad had retired, and that was, a funny story. My mother's father was an Olympic track star, and her 4 sisters, and she hardly ever discussed wrestling until Bret made it into the WWE, and then, my mother's almost ashamed of the nature of not so much wrestling, but professional wrestling compared to Olympic. My grandfather broke the world record in 1912 for the mile.
Oh, wow.
And there's no comparison, say, to commercial wrestling and Olympic track. But anyway, when Bret and later Owen and the Bulldogs and all that were in the WWE, Big Shots rubbing shoulders with Cyndi Lauper and Aretha Franklin and those type of guys, Liberace and Little Richard and all that, and even Andre the Giant, people like that. My nieces and nephews all across the states, my mother's 4 sisters had almost as many kids as she did. They were celebrities that get to take home the special souvenir chairs and meet, celebrities and wrestlers and giants and be part of it. And it's pretty exciting when you see some of those huge crowds they had and the big excitement, the big fanfare. So our family was, we're all kind of hams for it in a sense, like respectable hams. I'm not trying to shove myself down anybody's throat, really, but when it's in your blood and you've had a lot of experience doing, anything like wrestling in front of a lot of people, whether it's in Calgary or Los Angeles or New York, it's fun to still be part of it, especially on such a high level as the WWE.
Now, Smith, we actually have on the line with us Sean Morley, formerly Val Venus. We're going to get some memories from him. So, Sean, how are you doing?
I'm doing very well. Yourself?
Doing good. Now, you got the chance to work with Owen and be on the road with him. Is there any fond memories that you'd like to share with our listeners?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, Owen was obviously classic for non-stop 24/7 ribbing. He's just, he always kept you on your toes, He was a great guy to have in the locker room. He kept the morale high all the time. You could always expect something quite funny out of Owen Hart all the time. I do remember one time specifically when we had an early morning flight out of a small town. I can't remember the name of the town, but we were flying into St. Louis. And so we got into St. Louis, I guess, around 8 a.m., and everybody was real tired. So the idea was to head across the street to the Marriott, right across the street from the St. Louis International Airport there. Check in, catch a quick nap, and then head off and train, and then go to the arena later that night. So when we all got over to the Marriott, all the boys were lined up and they were checking in.